Wrong button. I don't have a gavel. I'd like to call to order the October 2nd, 2024 City Council meeting to order. If you are able, please rise and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm sorry, I think it's a video.
Okay.
Apologize, the video for the chambers is not working this evening, so very sorry. But we can see you, Mayor Gabriel.
Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Gabriel? Mayor Gabriel?
Here.
Councilmember Askin? Here. Councilmember Dothett?
Here.
Councilmember Baisden?
Here.
Councilmember Sonart?
Here.
Vice Mayor Naxted?
Here.
Councilmember Daniel?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay. Council, before we get to the agenda and consent agenda approval, I'd like to bring to your attention the lay-down material. Add item E2, Resolution 2024, ACR-8 attachment brought to us by the attorney. Pleasure of council. Councilmember Baisden.
I move that we add addition item E2, Resolution 2024-42 to the agenda, and that's unanimous.
Second.
Okay. Are there any additional revisions to the agenda or consent agenda from the council? Would the clerk please read the consent agenda items into the record?
Thank you, Vice Mayor Naxted. Approval of the regular meeting minutes of September 18th, 2024, brought to you by the city clerk. New business action approval, bills to be ratified, brought to you by the administration. Action approval, confirmation of mayoral nomination for a partial term appointment of Samuel Wicker to the Airport Commission, brought to you by Mayor Gabriel. Introduction of ordinance number 3439, 2024, increasing estimated revenues and appropriations in the general fund and municipal roadway improvement capital fund to provide supplemental funding for the 2024 Lilac Lane roadway project, brought to you by the administration. Public hearing on October 16th, 2024. And that is your consent agenda.
Thank you. Are there any public comments on any of the consent agenda items just read into the clerk, by the clerk? Okay, seeing none, unanimous consent was requested. Are there any objections? Hearing no objections, the agenda and consent agenda are approved. At this time, we have Ashley Blanchford with the Lee Shore Center, and I'd like to do a presentation for Domestic Awareness Month for you. If you want to come forward, I'll read you the proclamation. Okay, that works. Whereas domestic violence, once a secret kept among families, is now recognized as a serious crime in the state of Alaska, and whereas domestic violence has severe consequences for survivors, their children and families, and has long-lasting impacts on their life, their quality of life, and whereas stopping the cycle of violence requires not only the resolve and courage of survivors, but also support and involvement from all of us, and whereas enhanced education, prevention, and intervention will help to increase public awareness of the severity and extent of domestic violence, and whereas domestic violence in the home is a problem that affects every socioeconomic level in our society, occurring in wealthy and disadvantaged neighborhoods, and includes the employed and the unemployed, and whereas domestic violence is generally learned and passed down from one generation to another, and whereas during the month of October, local, state, and national domestic violence agencies will sponsor events to help us focus public attention on the problem of domestic violence. Now, therefore, I, Henry Naxted, Vice Mayor of the City of Kenai, Alaska, hereby proclaim October 2024 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the City of Kenai, and urge all citizens to dedicate themselves to learn about how to reduce domestic violence and further encourage everyone to support the domestic violence programs in our community, including Lee Shore Center and Even House.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
you so much for supporting us. We could not do it without the city's help.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you. Okay, we have no scheduled administrative reports, no scheduled public comments. So that gets, now we have unscheduled public comments. Are there any members from the public who would like to speak on any item not appearing on the agenda? Marion Nelson.
Hi, Marion Nelson, Kenai Arts Center. I don't have too much to say tonight. I have a whole sheaf of papers that I don't have, the ones that you don't see here. There's all kinds of things going on, a small show in the back gallery where the jail is, large show in the front gallery of Susie Scribner's, and this Friday is first Friday of the month, so that means it's opening and reception and all that sort of stuff. So you're, of course, always invited to that 5 to 7. And there'll be food, and there'll be a little this and that music and blah, blah, blah. It'll be a good time had by all. Susie Scribner has been in the area for a long time. She has a shop in the Peninsula Center Mall. I can describe it easiest by saying that she's at the front entrance, whatever the front entrance is, and right inside. And she's a very prolific artist. She does a lot of different kinds of artwork. Quite realistic, but also a lot of variety to it, and determination, I guess, is maybe as good a word as any. And people generally like it, and so she has quite an array of her work, and it's many subjects, some different media, so it's an interesting show. And she also plays the piano. I don't know if she's going to do that on. I think maybe Maria Allison's going to be there on Friday night. I don't even remember, but anyway, a good time will be had by all for sure. And coming up will be the mural, the annual mural will be coming along pretty soon. We have our first mural meeting on Wednesday, and I believe that this is really a big deal for us. We're going to get electric, staplers, because we staple this canvas all over the main gallery, and then start figuring out, I don't know for sure how we're going to divide up the spaces on the wall this time. Every year there's a little bit different, and the group that'll participate will make those decisions the night of the first meeting and discuss if it's going to be this or that. And we started out with Celia Anderson who was the first director of the college art department. And she had some very interesting angular spaces, and everybody had 3, 2 big and 1 small, and it's evolved since then, so it's changed every year. So who knows what it'll be this year, but it'll be interesting. And some people have even wanted to do a no lines, no delineation, everybody just kind of a free-for-all, which would be, y'all come. It'll be a good time. So we'll see what happens, and that will be in November and part of December. My favorite event, my idea, so I can claim that. Any questions from anybody? Oh, I was hoping that Sandra Lewis would be here tonight. She's the president of the board now, which I'm thrilled about. She grew up here. Can't talk about her, I'll be crying. Anyway, she's a great addition to the Art Center. She's on task, she's organized, she's kind, she's talented, and all the rest of it. So next time, I'll hope that she can get here the next council meeting and elaborate on her background as well as what she sees for the center. Not only the things that happens, but the building, which is endlessly. We could talk about the building endlessly. You may not want to hear it all, but it's, between the roof and the walls and the outside walls and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot to discuss. And it's maybe time that we come and start doing a little begging at council again for some help on that. Any questions from anybody? Come on, one question
Well,
from somebody.
Mary brought up Sandra.
Yes,
Sandy to me, but Anyway,
Sandra Huss Lewis.
she is wonderful. I went through, I think, elementary, and we graduated together, and she's a KCHS alumni. And she came back and taught there. My children actually had her as a teacher,
Yep.
and she's very good.
She's, you know, she and her husband, Tony Lewis, went to Japan for several years and taught over there a few years ago. And when they came back, I was like, oh, good, you know, volunteers at the Art Center. Well, more than we expected, that's for sure, because she is one of those people that has a mind that organizes. That's just what she does, and she does it without it being a big pain in the butt like it would be for me forever. But that's just how it works for her. So she came into the Art Center and started organizing the nasty back room, the nasty office, blah, 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 and just made sense out of a lot of things for us, which is great. Just, you know, what a gift to have a volunteer who will come and organize things for you that you don't even want to bother with. So no, she didn't want to be on the board. She would do that, but she didn't want to be on the board. Well, then, you know, within 2 years, she's on the board, and then a year after that, and I'm getting really ready to quit being president. So she was okay to do it, and she also kind of got shoveled into that position, and nicely so. So she's been a super gift to the board, to the center, and to all of us. And I am no longer president. It's great. And so she brings a lot to the table, that's for sure. She's a super talented person herself, multimedia, and always has something in the gift gallery to sell herself, as well as a show, as well as will participate in various shows with various media. So she's a real gift to all of us. Anybody? Okay.
Thank you, Marion. Anybody else wishing to speak? Tyson Cox, welcome. I assume from the Kenai Peninsula Borough.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. I was coming tonight to speak a little bit about the working group that will be starting up at the borough level here. There isn't an exact date, but it will be after October 22nd to talk about bed tax and what people think about that, and ideas to go back to us as the assembly once that is complete. The reason for coming and talking to you guys is to let you know that officially there will be 3 tourist-related representatives on that, and then there will be 4 community members. If you know anyone interested, please go to the main website of the borough. It's on the front page there, and you can click on the link, and it will take you straight to, it's like 5 or 6 questions. I was asked by City of Soldotna if there was a deadline. I'm sure there is, but it is not written on the site, and it is not in this resolution. I'm going to assume it will be after this next meeting. We just got our agenda today, and it's not on there because it does come to approval by the assembly. So since it's not on this meeting, my assumption it will be probably our next meeting in October. But the reason to come to you guys specifically is in Section 3, it reads that all incorporated cities within the Kenai Peninsula Borough are invited and encouraged to have a representative attend the working group and join as a non-voting participant in this collaborative working group discussion. What I take that to mean is that all the cities are invited to have somebody come and be a part of that whole discussion that they're having. They just will not be voting members on the recommendation that would end up going to the assembly. It will just be those 7 folks. There will also be the mayor and 2 assembly members, and those 2 members are going to be picked by President Johnson. And so they will also be non-voting members. And so with that, to one other section I was going to read to you, just so you know really what the ask is of that group, is that the assembly hereby forms the tourism industry working group and directs the group to focus its meetings on evaluating tourism benefits and impacts on current borough revenues, costs, and services, discussing potential options or ideas and associated data for ensuring that visitors are paying their fair share of services they use, and assessing the anticipated effects of a potential bed tax. The working group will provide a final written report to the assembly. So I have spoken before when this came up in the summertime, which is the history behind this and why this came forward now, was we started that in the summertime, It was not something that the assembly went forward with because we had people come in and say, hey, we want to be a part of this. This is the middle of our summer season. Can we do a working group? And so this is the response to that. And Mr. Eubank was in some discussions at that point, so I wanted to make sure I come in and talk to not only the council, but also the administration that there is that option.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Mr. Cox? Is anybody on council interested to be on that working group? I'll just ask the question here. And, well, could be. It's either that or we'll have the clerk, check with our different commissions and committees too, however we might do that. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, if I may, I know like the city of Soldotna, I know they're actually considering even a staff member or something like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody on the councils. It can be whoever the city chooses, but it could be all the way to staff members or to whatever the city feels is appropriate as somebody to represent the city in that group.
Okay, and when do you need to know when that person?
I don't know that there's actually a need to know. I will make sure, I will ask at our next meeting to make sure that cities are being notified when those meetings are. I don't even know that it has to be the same person each time. It's just that the cities have the right to have representation at those meetings, and then they can decide who that is and how that works.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now I'm looking at the city manager. But thank you very much. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Councilmember Sonart.
Mr. Cox, at the beginning, you said there was going to be 7 people on this community group, or on this work group?
Yes, and so those people
And I
are
caught the 4 community members. I
Sorry.
didn't catch the 3.
3 tourism-related industry representatives. Now, that's very vague, so I assume that to be either owners, operators of hotels, probably small, like Airbnbs, things like that. Because it's bed tax related, I'm going to assume it's going to be somebody with lodging. But the way it's written, it could be somebody who has guiding. I mean, the way that it's written, it could be those folks as well. Thank you.
Anybody else in the audience wishing to speak? Okay, seeing none, that brings us to public hearings. The first public hearing before us tonight is ordinance 3438, 2024, accepting and appropriating donations from the Kenai River Marathon through the Kenai Community Foundation for the installation of bike racks and bike repair stations, brought to us by administration. Pleasure of council. Councilmember Baisden.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I move to enact ordinance 3438, 2024.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Is there anybody from the general public that would like to speak to ordinance 3438, 2024? Seeing no one, we'll bring it back to council for discussion. Councilmember Doffett.
I'd just like to say that I'm happy to see this moving forward, and I think it's going to be a great for the community.
I agree. It's good to see the monies, the excess monies that came from the marathon being used for an appropriate use here in our city, and it's going to be widespread. We do have our Parks and Rec director here tonight, Mr. Eubank. Is there anything that you would like him to add to the locations or any data he might have?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members, or Vice Mayor, members of council. Tyler, if you want to give them a synopsis, that'd be great.
Yeah, so. Yeah, as you guys can see in your packet, I included a picture of a bike station and a bike rack and a bike repair station that was recently installed at our library, and you're kind of seeing more of these popped around. And to start with it, these are being purchased with monies that was appropriated from the Kenai River Marathon Fund, from the Kenai Community Foundation, where there's been excess funds made by the Kenai River Marathon, and the money is supposed to be allocated to improve like parks and recreation for the community in the city of Kenai. And one thing we are missing is we don't have bike racks at our rec center. We don't have them at our parks. And the hope was to open up that like health and wellness activity and show like, yeah, you can bike to Municipal Park, you can bike to the soccer fields, you can bike around our city and secure them. And then these bike repair stations just make it really accessible. If your chain pops off, if you have a flat tire, makes it really easy to fix your bike on the fly. I'll use a personal experience. I biked around Soldotna and Kenai my whole life, and these would have came in handy several times. But I think it makes us a bike-friendly community, and I think that's a really positive thing for health and wellness in the city. And sorry, I could also add, I think we've identified like 15 different locations where they could be installed in. Not every single one would have a repair station, but they'd be at the high-traffic areas as well.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing no one, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Askin?
Yes.
Councilmember Dothit?
Yes.
Councilmember Baisden?
Yes.
Councilmember Sonart?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nakstad?
Yes?
Councilmember Daniel?
Yes.
Mayor Gabriel?
Yes.
You have 7 yes votes. Ordinance number 3438, 2024 is enacted.
Okay, thank you. We are now on item E2, Resolution 2024-42, supporting agenda change request 8 at the upcoming Alaska Board of Fisheries work session to allow set beach seine nets as an alternative gear type for the east side set net fishery, while the Kenai River late run king salmon stock of concern management plan, brought to you by Henry Nakstad. Pleasure of council. Wait. Councilmember Baisden.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would move to adopt Resolution 2024-42 and ask for unanimous.
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there anybody from the general public that would like to speak to Resolution 2024-42? Seeing no one, I'll bring it back to council. Mayor Gabriel.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Nakstad. Yeah, I'd like to just point out at this time and disclose a conflict that I would have with this resolution. I am a commercial fisher that would benefit and although this is only a process step to ask the Board of Fisheries to consider ACR 8, if ACR 8 was considered and that was put into regulation as written, then I would have a financial benefit to that. So at this point, wanted to disclose that, and I presume that you would rule that I would not be able to participate.
I would agree. Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Baisden.
So, Vice Mayor Nakstad, since I asked for this to be unanimous, do I need to bring that back? So this is something we should vote on individually for the clerk?
Yes, we should.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to pass the gavel to Councilmember Baisden.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'll take the gavel. I'm going to take the gavel so Vice Mayor Nakstad can speak on Resolution 2024-42.
Okay, thank you very much. This resolution is just asking for the Board of Fisheries to put it on their agenda and for seine fishing on the east side beach fisheries. And if you're not real familiar with what seine fishing is, not everybody is, and we do gillnet fishing in the Cook Inlet here. However, seine fishing is done elsewhere, and that is done with a smaller net that encircles the fish and basically captures them in a purse. And they're whole, they're not gilled or anything like that. And they are then usually, that's pulled out and fish in a bag, if you will, And Mayor Gabriel and 2 other fishing sites this last summer experimented with seine fishing on the beach, which has been shown to be pretty successful, very successful, in not only catching the target fish, but also successful removal of the king salmon, which is the concern why they have not been fishing for a couple of seasons now. And so that's why this resolution is so important for it to become on the agenda for the Board of Fish. The laydown is also supporting information in that the fishing game, fisheries had a meeting, and they reviewed their proposal. And of course, they've been monitoring the efforts of Mayor Gabriel and the others and the success. And what the attachment there indicates is that Fish and Game believes that it should be added to the agenda, and the justification for that is also included. Any further questions? Comments?
Thank you, Vice Mayor Naxted. I'm going to return the gavel back to the Vice Mayor so he can take other comments.
Okay, thank you. Is there any further discussion? Councilmember Dothett.
Yes, not that I don't agree with the intriguing issue of different means and methods for catching salmon on the Kenai. I am not in favor of us picking a specific ACR out of multiple that could affect salmon fishing on the Kenai. I think it's getting us a little bit too far down specifics on the rabbit hole, and I don't think it's our decision to push one of these individuals. I agree with moving the meeting and pushing for us to be able to say, yeah, we have a meeting for these and would like it here when it comes to fishing issues. I think this gets a little bit too specific on one specific ACR. I think there's several ACRs that affect the Kenai area, and we could be in favor or against all of them, but I'm not on the Board of Fish and I'm not a biologist. And so I think due to the fact that it's so specific and calling out one specific item, that does tend to greatly affect one member on our board. Whether I agree with the means of how it's being done, I just don't think it's this body's wise choice for this body to get so specific on this one item. And I think being more broad with, we agree with there's ACRs that affect then we want Fish and Game to take them all up and reconsider them or consider them or not. So I won't be in favor of this as presented, being it's just too specific to one general item of, there's 15 on this list here, but of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 others, I believe that specifically are to do with the Kenai River and those fisheries. So I'm not in favor of this as it is.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you. Councilmember Dothett?
No.
Councilmember Baisden?
Yes.
Councilmember Sonart?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Naxted?
Yes?
Councilmember Daniel?
No.
Councilmember Askin?
Yes.
You have 4 yes, 2 no votes, and 1 abstention. Resolution number 2024-42 is adopted.
Thank you. That now brings us to commission reports. Council on Aging, Councilmember Baisden.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The next meeting for Council on Aging is October 10th. I won't be able to attend that, so if somebody's available, might want to step up to take that on.
Thank you. I have Airport Commission, and their meeting is canceled for October, so their next meeting will be in November. Harbor Commission, Councilmember Askin.
Next Harbor Commission meeting is the 12th of November.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation, Councilmember Sonart.
Thank you. Parks and Rec, it's meeting tomorrow night here, October 3rd.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Dothett.
I was not in attendance, but I think Mr.
That was
Councilmember
me.
Daniel took over.
Yes. Fastest meeting ever, probably, on record. Went well. It was a couple things. Had a sort of simple replat for the funeral home so they can do some construction. And the only other thing that happened that was of note is they elected a new vice chair of council, or Commissioner Twait. and a new member, Stacy Kraus. So that was the extent of their meeting. And the next one's canceled, I think.
Well, since you're up, Beautification Commission.
Yes, beautification, the next meeting is canceled, but there will be a work session to be determined sometime this winter. So more to come on that when it comes.
Thank you very much. That gets us to report of the mayor. I want to congratulate Councilmember Sonart on her apparent win. And I look forward to working with you for the next 3 years. And also Savala Casina, who's in the audience here. They'll be sworn in, I think, at our next meeting, and we'll go from there. And I'm looking forward to that as well. And Councilmember Baisden, congratulations on your apparent election at the borough. It looks pretty promising. But also, I understand because of a code situation thing that, well, because a council member and a assembly person cannot be serve on both at the same time, this is going to be your final meeting here on council. I didn't realize that until this evening. I didn't know what the timing was. So so it's a lot. Congratulations, and I thought we were going to get one more meeting out of you at least. But I look forward to all your work you're going to do at the borough. Okay, so that gets us to administration reports. Sorry, pardon me. City manager, Eubank.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, members of council. A few things to report. I wanted to report that Lee Fry has accepted the position of Public Works Director with the city. Lee's, just a little history on Lee. Lee's lived on the peninsula since 2010. He's got a wealth of project management experience. He was a project manager for the city of Soldotna for about 8 years, from 2012 to 2020. He's now the solid waste director at the borough. So Lee's a professional engineer, so he's a licensed professional engineer. He also has an MBA. So I'm really looking forward to working with Lee. I think he's going to be a great addition to our team. Both Lee and our new planning director, Kevin, are scheduled to start with the city on the 21st of October here. So I'm going to fill 2 big positions on the same day. Looking forward to that. This week, we've been conducting interviews to fill the controller position. And so I think they're in the midst of doing some reference checks and things like that. In the meantime, I have to recognize Sue Best, who was the city's accountant for many years, has graciously again came back and is helping us while we're recruiting to fill this position. It really is a luxury for us here at the city to have these folks that are willing to come back and help us out and bring back that knowledge that they had of working here. So really thankful to Sue for doing that. We have police officer recruitment that is ongoing, and I'm both happy and sad by this, but that officer recruitment now is for 2 officers. Officer Trevor Miller has provided his resignation to the city. Trevor, I didn't check the actual dates, but I can tell you this, Trevor is right now, he's the longest tenured officer that we have, and he's the longest ever serving officer with the Kenai Police Department. So I know Trevor's been here over 25 years, and he's going to be retiring. His last day is going to be the 31st of this month, and I know they're going to have some amount of celebration for him, so we'll definitely get invitations out to council, but that's a pretty big accomplishment, and really want to thank Trevor for all those years of service. So at the library, they're recruiting for a part-time janitor, and I think that might be all of our open positions right now. But on some happier notes, I would like to say that our Parks and Rec Director, Tyler Best, was sworn in a week or 2 ago, and He is now the president of the Alaska Recreation and Parks Association. What's really cool about this is a really high honor for Trevor, but it comes from his peers, and I think that's what's really, really important. So, really glad Tyler's with us, and, we recognize how great he is, but your peers are recognizing it too. So congratulations on that, Tyler, and looking forward to you serving there and bringing back some of that knowledge here to the city. I was able to attend the ICMA conference that was in Pittsburgh last week. A lot of my focus while I was there was there were numerous sessions dealing with the use of artificial intelligence in local government and how that is being used and the benefits from it. And I think that there are opportunities even within our organization to bring some real efficiencies on some tasks that we perform, some routine tasks using some of that technology. So it's something we're going to be looking into and developing more and more here at the city. We are continuing to work forward on the public land sale. Our tentative date for that will be Saturday, the 19th. But that could get pushed a little bit. Just we want to make sure we do an adequate job of advertising and publicizing that. The city's slash site's last day is this weekend, October 6th. So the slash site will be closed last weekend to use it. I had the pleasure of going over to the Kenai Rec Center and taking a look at the new floors that are over there. It's still closed this week, letting those floors cure. But between that and the work that the staff is doing over there and repainting some things and just cleaning some things up, the place looks amazing. And I really hope council gets a chance to go over there and take a look. It really is, looks very nice. Another thing that's looking really nice, I don't know if you've noticed, but our fire department doors have gone from pink to back to red. And really want to recognize the efforts of those fire crews over there that are, the crews themselves are the ones out there doing that painting and sprucing up the outside of that station. So I want to recognize that and say thank you to them. It's really appreciated. Another issue I want to make council aware of. So KMC 1330-030 prohibits parking on city streets from 4 to 8 a.m. From October 1st to May 1st. And the purpose of this is to ensure the safe operations of our snow removal activity for our street department when we have snow events. We've got a number of city parking lots. We've had a number of vehicles that have been sometimes staying in those parking lots for extended period of times, and those too will be hampering snow removal activities. So we are going to be posting some signs in our parking lots and closing the majority of our parking lots under the same, just expanding the provisions of 1330-030 to be on city streets to our city parking lots. There could be a couple of exceptions. I think talking with Tyler, the rec center, I think, opens at 6:30 in the morning, so that likely will close from like 4 to 6 a.m. to ensure there. And then the multi-purpose facility does have ice scheduled prior to 8 a.m. It probably likely will be a 4 to 6 a.m. type closure there too. But I'm looking at closing those to ensure that we're able to get in and do adequate snow removal safely in our parking lots as well. Last item, I too want to congratulate Councilmember Sonart on her reelection, and Casala, looking forward to working with you. Councilmember Basin, thank you for your service, and it's been a pleasure working with you, and looking forward to continuing working with you as you represent us over at the borough. So thank you. Happy to answer any questions.
Oh, seeing none, that brings us to Mr. Bloom, City Attorney.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Naxted. I don't have any comments, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, don't see any. Shelley, Center, City Clerk.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Naxted. Got a couple of things for you. As you all know, election was yesterday. At this point, we're just about 9%, but we still have 124 absentee question and special need ballots to be canvassed. And when we canvass them, we verify that the voter didn't vote anywhere else and that they were eligible for that ballot. And if they are, then those will be counted. And additionally, we have 17 by mail requests that if they are returned postmarked on or before Election Day, they will also be canvassed. I do want to also let you all know that I took an opportunity. I asked if I could go speak at our Kenai Alternative and Kenai Central to our students about our student rep program. I went. I also took the opportunity to take the floor and talk to them about the importance of local government. Had great questions from the students. Hasn't brought us any new applications at this point, though. So, and that's it, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you very much. Okay, that brings us to additional public comments. Are there any members from the general public that would like to address the council at this time? Okay, seeing none, that gets us to council comments. I think I'd like to start with Mayor Gabriel if he's available.
Yes.
So we don't forget you.
Yeah, thanks, Henry. But my comments are going to closely mirror your comments, and that's my notes here I had. And I wanted to, first of all, thank you for filling in for me tonight. And then I wanted to congratulate James Basin on his apparent win here. And thank you for your service, James. And hopefully we will be able to still hook up on the golf course. I'd like to do that a little more often than we have been, but certainly want to thank you for your service to the Kenai as my vice mayor last year and the work you did. Congrats to Deborah Sonart and welcome to Savala Casino for their wins. And I would like to also congratulate Sarah Dothett for her apparent win in the school board, representing the city of Kenai. And then also wanted to thank Jeannie Rubio for her opponent for putting her name in the hat. I know that's once you put that out, do that, that's putting yourself out there, and it's not a real easy thing to do. So, and congratulations to Todd Best. Keep up the good work, Todd. That concludes my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Gabriel. That gets us to Councilmember Dothett.
I'm used to having somebody on the other side of me.
Yeah, it takes you out of this normal sequence.
I'm going to think here. Couple things, just want to bring up, we had the marathon at the chamber, the Kenai River Marathon was this weekend, and it did great. It was actually a really nice morning for some unknown reason. That seems like that event always has, knock on wood, cleared off miraculously and been a nice day for so many years in a row. I can't even imagine the track record we've got going on. But it was great. We had a bunch of runners show up. It was a good event. They had several do the whole thing, which I commend them on, as there's no way I can ever even imagine trying to do that. But we ran a water station, and it was great to see all those individuals running out there and enjoying the weather. Also, the chamber has a couple things coming up. I know Sam's not here today, but we have the chamber has their meeting, their annual fundraiser coming up on the 12th. Should be a lot of fun. It's going to be Halloween themed, and then they'll be right as soon as that's done, they've already got plans, and it's going to be intense again this year. They're doing that Haunted Chamber, which should be a pretty cool thing. They've got a lot of new things coming up and should be nice and spooky inside the chamber for that. So exciting to see those things coming to fruition. And if you're available to, there should be still a few seats. It's actually almost a sold out event this year. So it's kind of exciting to see the support we're getting from the community on that. A lot of great things going on there. So that's all I've got so far.
Okay. Councilmember Sonart.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Nexted. I'd like to start with thanking all the workers yesterday that worked the precincts from early in the morning to late last night. And thank you to our city clerk, Ms. Sainer, and our borough clerk, people who have never done this. You have nothing to gauge it by, what this day is like from start to finish. And I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep getting on my soapbox and saying it. Everybody should do it at least one time in their life. Just one time. You'll have a great appreciation for what they go through. Tyler, congratulations. That's very exciting for you. And Councilmember Baisden, congratulations on your win. And I have enjoyed working with you on council the past 3 years. And also, I want to say welcome to Savala. Mr. Casetta, you're making me feel old, because I remember hearing your voice in the music hallway at KCHS. Then he became a band parent of mine, so I had his daughter for 7 years, so I call them my grand students, and now he's going to be on council with me. But I still look the same.
Okay. Councilmember Askin.
Thank you. So I volunteered at the marathon with the chamber on Saturday. Lots of great people came from lots of places. We had one guy came in with his 2 sons from Fairbanks. They drove in and got in at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and they were there at 7:30 to sign up.
Wow.
Thought that was pretty impressive. Tyler, congratulations, well deserved. Congratulations to Deborah Sonart, welcome. Savala, welcome. I look forward to working with you. James, congratulations. I will miss working with you here on the council, but look forward to visiting with you further. Congratulations to Sarah Dothett, who took the school board seat. That's great. And to Jeannie for putting herself out there and running. Also, I want to thank the election workers and the clerks. I came in really early in the morning, and boy, they had it all together. And it just ran really smooth. And I haven't done it yet, but I plan to. Thanks.
All right. Councilmember Daniel.
Lots of congratulations going around. I won't rehash it. Everybody's done a wonderful job. I will say this, though. I might have to speak a little bit more with your departure. You've been doing a great job keeping me in line. So thank you. It's been fun. But and I will say this about election workers. I went in to vote in the normal polling place, and I was thinking, man, where's Councilmember Sonart? She's always here every time. Oh, yeah. She's out there campaigning where I just came from. So it's always fun to see familiar faces, and you will get me in there one of these days. Oh, thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Baisden, you get the last word.
All right, since we're trying to get out of here quickly, I should filibuster.
Take your time.
Savala, you hear you have big shoes to fill.
Yes.
Congratulations to everybody got elected. I think Sarah Dothert probably had the best campaign out there with the dinosaurs. I thought that was probably the best thing to see. So I enjoyed that. It's been a fun 3 years. This group has been fun to work with. We may not always agree, but I think we respect each other, and that's what's important, and we're doing what's right for the city. So I've enjoyed working here. It's been fun. Staff's been great. I love everybody you got working here with you. So I think hopefully the other 2 members that you've got coming in here will do good work for you. I hate that Trevor's leaving. I remember when Trevor got hired on here, so I know that he's been here for a long time. So Officer Miller, congratulations. Well deserved to put 25 years plus into law enforcement. You've done something, and that says 2 things. That says a lot for our community that you can do 25 years in law enforcement, and it says a lot about the individual too. So very well deserved. I'm not going anywhere, so that's a good thing, I guess. And I'll be around. So come and see me and say hi. You'll see me walking on a bike trail every day.
I hope that you'll come to some city council meetings and give us a briefing or something. So
Yeah, I'll try to do that. I'll try to. I was going to see if you guys wanted me to sit on, Tyson when he was here to. I could represent the city. I'm going to be there anyway. So, but no, it's been fun. Thanks, everybody. That's all.
Thank you. Okay, we have no executive session, no pending items. That brings us to adjournment with no